So, what did you think about the top 10 books on my top 210 science fiction books episode last month? What do you think Goodreads thought about it? Hi, I'm Michael Everts, and this is Fit to be Read. I am preparing a wrap-up video to share some takeaways and fun statistics, or at least I think that they're fun, for the top 210 science fiction books episode that I posted at the end of September. I thought it would be interesting to look up the Goodreads ratings for all 210 books and see how my list fared compared to that. Let's just say that my top 10 and the top 10 according to Goodreads had only one title in common. Let's take a look. I want this to be useful as well as fun, so I'm going to share the 10 highest rated books from my top 210 according to Goodreads, and I'll introduce you to each of these books with a why I'd recommend these books type commentary. N.K. Jemisin's The Obelisk Gate, Book 2 of the Broken Earth series, with a 4.31 Goodreads score, would land the novel at number 10 among the 210 novels that I highlighted. More on that series in a moment. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams has a 4.35 rating on Goodreads. Had I used Goodreads ratings, it would land the novel at number 9 on my top 210 list. Instead, Hitchhikers was actually number 89 on my list. I recommend The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for its obscure humor. This novel is well known for being a witty space opera. I also think this is a great book for young readers just getting started with science fiction. If the humor matches for them, the combo of humor along with fun adventure across the galaxy will likely be a hit. For more on this book, check out Nebula Award-winning author John Wiswell speaking about The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy on my top 210 episode. The 4.36 Goodreads rating for The Stone Sky would land it at number 8 on my top 10 instead of the number 134 placement that I assigned it. I actually included all 3 books of N.K. Jemisin's Broken Earth trilogy on my top 210. I ranked the first book of this series, The Fifth Season, at number 84. I'll recommend this series for those who like science fiction that doesn't limit itself to the typical boundaries of the genre. The Broken Earth series is science fiction that gets quite fantastical. I also recommend this for readers who value strong prose and character development as the highest priorities in the reading experience. The Fifth Season also landed high on my list because of the strong world building and alternate worlds themes. On my top 210 list, these 3 novels were presented by my friends Beautifully Bookish Bethany and JessOwens. According to Goodreads, both The Dark Forest and Death's End, the 2 sequels in Cixin Liu's Remembrance of Earth's Past series, should have made my top 10. Well, rest easy, Mr. Goodreads, because I did have Death's End at number 6, and The Dark Forest wasn't too shabby at number 29. I absolutely loved both of these books. I enjoyed the first book of the series, The Three-Body Problem, which I ranked at number 166. I recommend starting this series for the inventiveness of the first book and how it's both familiar science fiction while also clearly coming from a writer from a different culture and with a different perspective than those of us from the West. I recommend these sequels because for me they were the superior novels and they present mind-blowing ideas and they have that rare ability that a great science fiction novel has to influence the way that you look at the universe. While you can see me present both sequels on my top 210 list, author Wole Talabi also appeared on that episode, and he spoke about how much he enjoyed The Three-Body Problem. While Dark Forest and Death's End would occupy the number 7 and number 5 spots, Goodreads ratings would place Andy Weir's The Martian at number 6 on my list. The Martian, which I ranked at number 80 on my top 210, is another one that's a good recommendation for readers that are taking a first dip into science fiction. You got your space and science, but also a small enough scope that a reader new to the genre isn't thrown to a sprawling universe and tons of future and unfamiliar tech. The story reads very fast and has moments of decent humor from its somewhat relatable main character, Mark Watney. I'd also recommend this to audiobook readers. I don't use audiobooks, but for an episode that I'm working on, I'm trying out listening to as rereads a few books that I'm guessing are going to work well or translate well to audiobooks. And from my experience so far, I feel comfortable recommending The Martian as a science fiction book that works well for an audiobook experience. Angela from the LiteratureScienceAlliance presented this book on my top 210 episode, and you can hear her rave about this rave-worthy novel there. The next 3 spots, again according to Goodreads, are all occupied by Pierce Brown's Red Rising series. On my list, I split these up rather than including just one book of the series. On my list, Morningstar was number 49, Red Rising and Golden Sun together shared the number 44 spot, and I ranked Dark Age and Iron Gold the highest in the number 41 spot. Clearly, I love this series, and Goodreads readers loved it even more. You can see those numbers behind me. I recommend Red Rising to any reader that's looking for an incredible series to just get lost into for months. I recommend it for its grand and epic scale. This book is very accessible for, again, the new to science fiction reader, and sprawling and layered enough for those who've read a lot of science fiction and or fantasy and have expectations for vast world building and unique ideas. All of the books from this series were presented by two of my friends, Leanne from LienesLibrary and Eric from Break Even Books, on the other episode. With Mr. Brown hogging 3 spots, we're already down to number 1. If Goodreads had its way and could manipulate and reorder my list with their grubby little hands, the number 1 book would be Andy Weir's 2021 release, Project Hail Mary. Goodreads is likely laughing in my face that I had the audacity to rank this novel at number 118. In fairness to me, Goodreads, you surely must admit that your ratings display a pattern of recency bias, as your highest ratings are assigned only to books published since 2010. I really enjoyed Project Hail Mary, and I would recommend it to the casual science fiction reader who likes novels with the potential for first contact with an alien race. Those who enjoyed The Martian and the character of Mark Watney, you will get those vibes. I recommend this for readers who like a plot where the Earth is under the threat of destruction and scientific minds need to come together and find a solution. If you want to hear more about this book from my friends Johan from Library of a Viking and Sonali from The Melodramatic Bookworm, you know by now where you can go for that. Thank you for watching. I'm Michael Everts, and this is Fit to be Read.